In a few days, I'm going to be releasing my annual predicting the top NBA players in 5 years from now video. I've done this every single year for the last 3 seasons with the goal to react to these when that year is up. So the first time I did this was March of 2020. March 31st, 2020 to be exact. We were in like the peak of COVID at this time, and I was just coming up with any type of video ideas. So we're basically 3 years into this video of me predicting the top 20 players in 2025. So we're going to be reacting to this video today to see if I'm on track to being correct for at least some of these. If you guys are excited to see my ranking of the top 20 players in 2028, drop a thumbs up on this video and let me know who needs to be featured in that video in the comments below. So I was 20 at this time. I'm 23 now. Do I look any different? Let's get into this.
6 years old. I know he can just still rely on his shooting, but it's hard to say a 36-year-old will be a
Definitely talking about LeBron.
top 20 player, and LeBron's 35, and he's like a top 2 player in the NBA. But yeah, those are my 8 honorable mentions: LeBron, Kyrie, Jamal Murray, Jonathan Isaac, James Harden.
Wow, Jonathan Isaac is an honorable mention.
Melo Ball, Kawhi, and Curry. So
okay, so I don't have Curry as a top 20 player, or Kawhi, or Kyrie, or LeBron in 2 seasons. We're going to see if LeBron retires by then. I feel like Curry can still be top 20. Kawhi, I think I was like the injury thing. LaMelo, I think I'm going to be wrong. I think LaMelo's going to be a consensus top 20 guy in 2 seasons. But let's get into the ranking.
Let's get into this.
But Jonathan Isaac and Jamal Murray, I don't think they're going to be there. Definitely not Isaac.
Top 20. So starting off at number 20 is Bam Adebayo, one of the many players from the 2017 draft class that will be on this list. He will be 27 years old, and I think he will be close to that top 20 player. He could be a more athletic, versatile Rudy Gobert on the defensive end from what we see from Rudy Gobert right now. I think he's going to develop as a passer. He's going to obviously develop as just a ball handler in general, and he's a really good one for a 6'10 center already. If he develops a jump shot, who knows? He could even be higher.
Switching up the camera view here, but I'm kind of spot on with Bam. I think like he could be around that 20th overall player in 2 seasons.
Than number 20, but he's going to come in at number 20. Now going over to another player drafted in that same draft class is De'Aaron Fox, who will also be 27. He's 22 right now. He's a fantastic player in his 3rd year in the NBA. He's averaging 20 points, around 8 assists. If he just keeps getting better and better, he could already be in the top 20, probably in 2 years from now. And he took a huge jump from his rookie year to his sophomore year. And I think he took a jump this year as well. It started off a little slow. He was hurt. Kings weren't doing good. A little bit of drama out there in Sacktown. But I think he definitely has a good chance at being a top 20 player in 2025, and I have him in at 19. Now moving on.
That's not okay. That's not bad about Fox. Now I was wrong about him being like top 20 as quick as I just said there, possibly in 2 more years from there, which was a year ago. But Fox did take a step back around that time as well, but he is really broken out to being like one of the more clutch players in the NBA, having the best season of his career, which I predicted. He was like in my top 5 of 5 players that I love this season, and I think he could be the 19th player in 2 seasons. I think that I'm kind of spot on with the top 2 here.
Over here to 18, I have Kristaps Porzingis, who will be 28. Now this one, like somebody else on this list who will come in at 16, injuries might play a part in this. If he takes another big hit, like another ACL injury between now and 2025, I don't see him reaching that top 20 potential, but he's come along as of late in real life. As we saw kind of the first half of the year for him, he was rusty, as you would expect for somebody that hasn't played in over a year, and he's showing that he could be a consistent 20-8 guy in the NBA and shoot above average from 3 and be a good rim protector. If he develops, he's going to have a really good connection with Luka Doncic, and I can see him definitely being a top 20 player in 5 years from now.
Okay, so KP, I don't think he's going to be in the top 20, and before this season, this would have been looking like a really bad prediction, but he's having a career year with the Wizards. Now, it's not resulting into wins. The Wizards just got eliminated from the playoffs as I'm recording this. So, I think if he replicates what he does next year, I guess it's for the Wizards. I think they're looking to re-sign him, and maybe they see a team improvement because of KP. We could see KP maybe flirt with the top 20 eventually. If he like does what he does this year, next year, then we know he's for real. And if it could result to wins, I think is the big thing for him to get into the top 20. But right now, this is definitely looking my worst prediction out of the 3.
So moving over to 17 is somebody in that used to be in his same division, the Atlantic Division, when he was still in the Knicks, and that is Jalen Brown. That was a weird transition there, but yeah, so or a weird segue, but yeah, I have Jalen Brown, who's from the 2016 draft class. He will be 28 years old, and coming in at 17. It's mainly because I think he could develop into a really good 2-way player, or at least, I mean, he's already a good 2-way player, so I don't know why I said develop, but just like an elite 2-way player. Because yeah, if you're a top 20 in the NBA, you're an elite player basically. You're not like maybe an All MVP or an All MVP. Wow. You're not maybe an MVP type player, but you're definitely an elite player, and Jalen Brown is definitely headed in the right direction. He improved massively from his rookie year to sophomore year, and it's from his third year to fourth year, and I think he's going to be a very nice duo partner with Tatum for the next years to come. He has a great coach. He's in a great system. I have him in at 17. Coming in at...
Okay, so, whoa, all right, we'll get to him in a second. But yeah, Brown at 17, I might be too low on him. I think Brown could definitely be a top 15 guy, especially if he's not on the Celtics. And then maybe in 2 seasons, he's the number 1 on a new team by then. So we'll see about that, but not bad. I think right around 17, that's actually pretty good.
16 is Joel Embiid, and I would love to put him
too low.
Higher. If I knew Joel Embiid would be perfectly healthy in 2025, I'd have him probably in the top 5, 100%, because he will only be 30 years old in 2025. He's the best center in the NBA right now. He's a 25-10 kind of machine when he wants to be, or he's arguably the best center in the NBA if you want to obviously have him with Jokic. But yeah, I think he has a very good chance of being a top 5 player in 2025 if he stays healthy, but that's what I don't know. A lot of people think he's a ticking time bomb and he won't play in the NBA past his 30s, so I don't know. So I had him at a safe 16. See if he's maybe dwindling down his career in 2-3 years from now. This would look dumb, but I want to be safe here just in case he's still playing at an elite level in 2025. So I have him here at 16. So moving over to 15.
All right, so yeah, definitely too low on Embiid, at least right now. Now, in 2 seasons, maybe Embiid does still have kind of some injury concerns, and he's not what he is at this current date on April 3rd, 2023. But right now, he's a top 5 player in the NBA, so saying he's 16 in 2 years isn't looking like I'm on the right track.
15 is my one and only player that isn't in the NBA at this moment, and that is Cade Cunningham. Now, Cade Cunningham is going to be in the 2021 NBA draft. He's a lengthy point guard. He's committed to, obviously, you can see, Oklahoma State. And what I've seen from this guy out of Montverde Academy, he looks legit. And I think I definitely like picking him over somebody from the 2020 draft class like LaMelo Ball or Anthony Edwards. And I think a guy from his draft class, Evan Mobley, could have a shot as well. But I wanted to put somebody that wasn't in the NBA. He would be 23 at this time. And the year later, Amoni Bates, he could be somebody, but I think he'll only be like 21, 22. So that would be kind of a stretch. So I ended up going right in the middle. 2021 draft class, Cade Cunningham is my pick. He is my 15th guy. Now moving over to 14.
Okay, so that's funny. So this was months before the 2020 draft. The 2020 draft, I believe, happened in November of 2020. This is March. So we're about 8 months before then. And I even have LaMelo as an honorable mention, which was solid. And Anthony Edwards as well. Those look like they're probably better off than Cade Cunningham right now because Cade did get hurt this year. But who knows? Maybe if Cade played this year and he picked up where he left off in the last couple of months of his rookie campaign, this was looking like a good prediction. I still feel okay with it. Like in 2 seasons, it's a lot to make up. This was a prediction before he even played a single minute in the NCAA, so I applaud myself for picking Cade. It could have been worse. I could have picked Amani Bates, where I also mentioned him and gave him a shout out. Probably would have been better off picking Evan Mobley, but you know what? I like it.
14 is another guard currently on the Thunder, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He'll be 26 at the time, and his jump from rookie year to sophomore year was great. He's going to be under one of the great point guards in NBA history, in Chris Paul, who's mentoring him, and he's just going to develop into a great two-way player, I think, on both ends of the floor. He's a fantastic ball handler. He's fantastic at getting to the rim and shooting at a high efficiency at the rim. Maybe the three-point shot won't maybe sustain how good it was this year, but I think there's a really good chance it will, and I like Shai coming in as the top 20 player at 14.
I think this is a perfect ranking for Shai. He could even be top 10 by this time this video is hitting its 5th year mark.
I think he could even be higher. It was just really hard to predict this. So at 13, I have my list on the left side. That's why I keep looking over. I have Pascal Siakam, who will be 30. And oh, I forgot to mention, Shai will be 26. So Siakam will be 30. So he might be on his way down from this list at this time. But 25 years old right now. He was an all-star this year. He was an all-star starter this year. He'll be all-NBA second team. He's shown that he's one of the biggest two-way stars on the come up. He's a fantastic player on the defensive end, and his ball handling for what is 6'9" power forward is just incredible. His above the break 3-point percentage is amazing. His 3-point shot looks amazing, and he's only 25, so he's going to continue to get better and better. And in 5 years from now, I think he could definitely be a top 15 player. I have him in at 13, and he will be 30 at this time.
Okay, so oh god. All right, well, hear what I had to say about Ben Simmons, but more at Pascal Siakam. I think at 13, he's not going to be a top 15 guy in the league in 2 seasons because we're pretty much seeing Pascal in his peak, in his prime now. Honestly, though, he could be on an All-NBA team this year. He's having like the best maybe statistical season of his career. I also had him with De'Aaron Fox in 5 players that I love this year, so I was super high on him. We'll see if he gets better and better for the next 2 years, or this is maybe the peak of Pascal. Because if this is the peak, I think it's hard to justify that he's going to be the 13th best player in the league in 2 seasons. But if he's in the top 20 itself, I'll consider it a dub still. But let's hear my biggest L from this most likely.
Coming in at number 12 is Ben Simmons, who will be 28 at this time. And I know I want to put Ben Simmons higher. I just don't know if the jump shot doesn't develop, will we see him as a top 10 player? And I just thought these other guys in front of him, they can all pretty much shoot besides maybe one of them. And I thought I don't know, Ben Simmons is going to be such a good player on the defensive side of the ball. And he already is already. Sorry if you heard my computer going off. But yeah, he's going to be top 5 in defensive player of the year voting this year, as he should be. He can guard all 5 positions, and he's just an athletic, versatile freak on that side of the ball. And on the offensive side of the ball, he is one of the best court vision in the NBA. He's one of the best transition players in the NBA. It's just, can he be a high-level scorer? Can he get close to that 20 points per game? Do it efficiently. And even though he's an efficient scorer already, inside, obviously, free throw shooting, not that good. But will he develop a shot? That's what's to determine by 2025 when he's 28. If he doesn't develop a shot by then, he obviously probably won't in his career. So I have him in at number 12.
Okay, so this is probably my biggest miss, having Ben Simmons in my top 15. Now, in my defense, everything I said about Ben Simmons there 3 years ago was facts. He was an elite playmaker, an elite defender, elite court vision, and he was so young that it would have been like brain dead of me to not have him in my top 20. And maybe I was conservative and I said I couldn't put him any higher because I didn't know if that jump shot was going to develop, which it didn't. But it's crazy. I had Ben Simmons at 12. He's on his way to not even being a top 100 player, maybe not a top 150 player in the league in 2 seasons. He is the worst contract in the NBA at the moment. So yeah, this is definitely my biggest L, is having Ben Simmons at 12, higher than Joel Embiid.
Now moving over to number 11 is Karl Anthony Towns, who will be 29 at this time. And I think if the defensive potential, he doesn't hit that, he won't be in the top 10. And I don't know how far his offense can get him. Obviously, with some of these other players kind of being some two-way players, and just maybe being a more valuable position like a wing player, maybe like a floor commanding guard. But yeah, I have Karl Anthony Towns at number 11, just outside the top 10. He will be 29. He's one of the best shooters for a big man in the NBA. He's arguably the best shooting big man in the NBA. And we'll see, yeah, if he develops to be somewhat of a good rim protector that you can trust, just respectable, I think he could definitely be higher than number 11. But right now, I have him there. So,
all right, so Cat at 11. I don't think he's going to be in the top 15 in 2 seasons. You could say he's in the top 25 now. But yeah, what I said, if he doesn't become a good rim protector, there's no chance he's going to be a top 10 player in the league. And it's looking like we're not going to see that from Cat. Now that he's playing next to Rudy Gobert, he's not really the rim protector, and he won't be as long as Rudy Gobert is there. So we'll see if Cat is even on the Timberwolves in 2 seasons. I think he will be. But yeah, Cat at 11, he's probably closer to 20 than he is to 10, at least in the year 2025.
Let's get into the top 10. So this player was drafted right after Ben Simmons, Brandon Ingram of the Pelicans. You probably, maybe a year ago, when he was still on the Lakers, you would have been like, might be top 30 in 5 years, but it would be hard to put him in the top 10, but I have him there already. After what we've seen this year from Brandon Ingram, he'll only be 27 at this time. He will be kind of just starting his prime years, or he will be in his prime by then. I think his defensive play went up this year. Obviously, we saw one of the greatest shooting jumps ever in NBA history from a player last year, from his free throw and 3-point percentage going up this year. He could be a 25-8 guy throughout the remaining of his career, or at least his like prime good years. So I have him in at number 10. Obviously, I think a wing that can just score, ISO, shoot the 3, create his own shot is very valuable, and play somewhat of above average defense that is so valuable in the NBA. I have him in at 10.
All right, so Ingram at 10, he's been playing like out of his mind as of late, like averaging like a triple-double, and something he hasn't really done throughout his career, at least in the assist department. And yeah, 10 is a little high. I think like Jalen Brown has definitely surpassed him. I think like in 2 years, like Shai Alexander will be better than him. If Embiid's not slowing down, he's obviously going to be better than him as well. So yeah, I think Ingram, it's a little bit high at 10. I probably should have had him closer to 20. So I would say I've missed on him as well here at 10.
And he'll be 27 years old. So let's get into the top 10 here. Number 9.
But you know what? It's possible. It is possible. He dealt with some injuries this season. Let's hear what I have to say about Ja at 9, which isn't a bad prediction. This is pretty good.
Yeah, he's a rookie this year. Ja Morant. So Ja Morant at this time will only be 25 years old. He's going to be incredibly young. And he honestly is pushing top 30 already from what we saw from him this year. If that's what we're going to get from him next year as well, he'll be a top 30 player in the NBA already. So I think it'll be pretty easy to say that he could be a top 20 player in 5 years from now when he has 5 more years of NBA experience under his belt. He's going to improve as a defensive player. If a shot stays respectable and he knows his role, he knows his volume, he's going to take about 3 to 4 a night and shoot about 37, 36, 35% from there. That's incredible. He's so good at getting to the rim. He's so good in transition. His ball handling is so good already. His court vision, his IQ, it's there from a veteran right now. So I think Ja Morant could be a top 10 player in 5 years. I've been at number 9.
I think this is perfect. Also, I sound kind of like sick in this video, but maybe I didn't have COVID at this time. I think I got it for the first time. It wasn't until like Omicron was big in like December of 2021, which is completely off topic of this. But yeah, you can make an argument that Ja's the 9th best player in the league right now. So I think this is a pretty good prediction.
Moving over to number 8 is somebody that will be 28 years old in 2025, and that is Devin Booker, who is one of the best offensive players in the NBA right now. I think maybe we'll hopefully see him on a playoff team by then, because then I probably can't have him as a top 10 player if he still has never made the playoffs by then. But I think there's a good chance he will. The Suns will probably keep getting better and better. They'll have a top 10 draft pick this year, and I think Booker, he's going to stay as an efficient 25-point per game scorer, and if he's doing that year in, year out for the last 4 years by this time, how can you not have him in your top 10? So I have him in at number 8. Obviously, if he's on a winning team, I think he can reach his defensive potential if he tries on that end, because sometimes he does take some plays off, but I mean, they're usually losing, or the season's kind of over halfway through, so you can kind of get why. So hopefully we see a full, we see try-hard Devin Booker, both sides of the ball, and he's going to be one of the best players in the NBA. So now,
all right, let's go. That was a pretty good prediction. Obviously, we saw like them be on this full display when they got Chris Paul for the 2021 season. So I think having Booker at 9 is definitely on pace to being somewhat correct.
Number 7 is the second
8,
rookie from this past year, and that is Zion Williamson. So like Embiid and like Kristaps, health is a big thing, because we already saw Zion with a major injury before he even started his career. So we'll see how the knees, how the legs, how the lower body is in 5 years from now when he's only going to be 24. He's going to be younger than me in 5 years, because I'm 20 right now. Oh, that is crazy. If you put me and Zion next to each other, I look older than him, right? I'm bigger, I'm stronger, I'm more athletic. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, Zion, what we saw in the small sample size this year, it wasn't that small of a sample size, around 20 games, like, dude's really freaking good. This guy can score on anybody with ease. I wouldn't say anyone. Obviously, like, he'll have his struggles against Giannis, but he made Rudy Gobert in like the preseason look funny. And like what we saw from this year, he was just putting up 20 and 10 with ease. Now I don't think he'll be a particularly good 3-point shooter like he was on his first game where he went 4 for 4, because after that he wasn't obviously as good from that arc. But his defense wasn't very good in the first games we saw from him, but I think he'll develop, he'll get smarter, he'll learn the feel of the NBA game, and I really like him to be a top 10 player. So I have him in at number 7, so we're almost into the top 5.
All right, so Zion at 7 isn't the best prediction, because honestly I didn't expect him to be out most of this season, and the injury concerns are going to be with Zion for the next 2 years. If we somehow, which is not going to happen, get a fully healthy Zion in 2024 and 2025, this could end up being accurate, but the odds of that happening is like 1%, so this is probably going to be a miss by me.
At number 6 I have is Trey Young. Trey Young will be 26 years old in 2025. I think if he could just be somewhat respectable, or just somewhat average on defense. He doesn't have to be above average, just okay, kind of what Steph Curry has been. That might be a lot to ask for him, but if he can get to that level, I think he could have this Steph Curry route, and he could just be this guy who's one of the best passers in the NBA. He's definitely a better passer than Steph Curry is. Just his court vision is incredible. He's probably a better ball handler, or he's up there with Steph Curry in ball handling. And his shooting, if he can just go that route, not saying he'll be a better shooter than Curry, but if he's just close to what Curry was, or Curry is currently, he's going to be a top 5 player in the NBA one day. I have him in at number 6 here, but it's just the defense holding him back, so I have him here at number 6.
6 is high for Young. Like now, like looking back, I'd probably have Shay in front of him for the next 2 years. I'd probably have Ja in front of him for the next 2 years. I don't know if he's going to be at least respectable on the defensive end. I think Trey will be in the top 20. You can even make an argument he's in the top 20 right now, but 6 I think was high.
Trey Young. So let's get here into the top 5. If you did see my tweet yesterday, you kind of already know who my top 5 is. So number 5, he will still only be 19 at this time. Just kidding, he'll be 26. But Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum is my pick for most improved player this year. It was neck and neck, him and Brandon Ingram. I ended up picking Tatum. I just think his jump was incredible. A lot of people wrote him off after last year. I'll bring it up again.
Wait, who won it this year? or that year. I thought it was Ingram. Yeah, it was Brandon Ingram, so I was wrong on that.
Yeah, like I always do. I tweeted out right before the season started, I can't believe there's people that think Kyle Kuzma is better than Tatum, and people were like, what? Kyle Kuzma is better than Tatum. And I'm just like, I don't know. I just didn't see it whatsoever. Jason Tatum has been a top 15 player in the NBA this year. He was a clear all-star. His defense is getting elite. His just offensive efficiency is so good. I mean, his true shooting percentage is still, I think, below average, or it's right at average. But his just pull-up threes, they look so smooth. His spot-up threes, he's just a really good scorer. He definitely needs to improve his scoring inside or at the basket. But I think Jason Tatum will be a top 5 player in 5 years from now.
Okay. Tatum at 5. It's a pretty good prediction. I think he could be like that in 2 years. You could even say he's number 5 right now.
26 years old. And also, I could mention KD as an honorable mention, but he'll be 36 off a meniscus tear. So, I don't know. That's just throwing back to the honorable mentions. But yeah, I have Jason Tatum at 5. Somebody at 4 is currently a top 10 player right now. And he'll be 29 at this time. And that is Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic is a respectable player on the defensive end. He's smart. He knows he's not athletic and he's not crazy versatile, but he's a smart player on that side of the ball. And on offense, he might be the most entertaining player to watch on that side of the ball. He's a 6'11" guy from Serbia, and he's just so smooth on the offensive end. He's the best passing big man in the NBA. He's a great shooter for his size. He's a good post scorer, and he's just an all-around offensive player. He works well in the DHOs, on the pick and rolls, on the spot of pick and rolls, or the pick and pops. He's just so good, and I think his defense gets overhated, or it gets too much hate sometimes. I think he's fine on the defensive end, and he's gonna be in his prime still in 5 years from now. He's a top 10 player already, and if he's just gonna be 29 in 5 years, he's going to probably be a top 5 player. I don't know. That's just my pick, or predicting for what Jokic to be. So this top 3 was...
So that was before Jokic even won an MVP award, and having him at number 4, I think, is perfect. You could even say he's number 4 right now overall. Like, you're probably putting Giannis at 1, who I'm sure I'll get to. But yeah, Jokic, you could say he's 2, 3, or 4, because, like, maybe not in the regular season, but you got to have Steph in there. You got to have KD in there. So if Jokic takes a little bit of a hit in 2 years and he's at number 4, I'm spot on with this.
Fairly easy. Coming in at number 3 was Anthony Davis, who will be 31 at this time. So he'll be kind of falling off his career, or not falling off, but he'll be coming out of his prime, out of his elite 25 in 10 years, 2 blocks a night, being one of the best defensive and offensive players in the NBA. But I still think he'll be a top 5 player in 2025. He'll be 31. I think he'll be okay. So this top 3 I thought for me was fairly easy, but hey, I say that, but in 2025 it could be completely wrong. So number 2.
All right, so AD definitely not 3. You might not even say he's a top 10 player right now. I didn't predict the injuries that were going to happen to him, and obviously that has affected his play over the last couple of seasons. There's a chance he's still a top 10 player in 2 years, but I think 3 is way too high.
Is somebody that will be 25 years old in 2025, and that is Luka Doncic, who is probably a top 10 player already in the NBA in his second year. We haven't seen this crazy development this quickly, probably since LeBron or maybe AD. He is just so good already, and yeah. He's my favorite player to watch in the NBA. What he does on the offensive end every night is just insane. For somebody that isn't the quickest player in the NBA, when you look on the floor, he looks like everyone else is playing in slow motion compared to him. And he just slows the game down. He's so smart, and he's just so much fun to watch. His defense might hold him back from ever being number 1. I don't think so, though, because the guy in front of him is 5 years older than him, so there's a chance Luka will definitely be the number 1 player in the world when that player kind of starts to fall off, and that number 1 player.
All right, so Luka at 2. In 2 years, it could happen. Luka's a top 10 player right now. He was in the MVP conversation this year, and the Mavericks have been falling off as of late. They might not even make the play-in tournament. It's looking like they won't. So I think Luka will be top 10 in 2 years. Will he be as high as number 2? We'll see if he takes that jump. Does he pass an Embiid in 2 years? Does he pass a Jokic in 2 years? Is he 100% better than Curry and KD? Is he better than Tatum in 2 years? We'll have to wait and see. I don't hate predicting him at 2, though.
Player is obviously Giannis Antetokounmpo. He'll be 30 years old. He's already the best player in the NBA in my eyes, and he's 25. So I think in 5 years from now, he'll still be the best player in the world or in the NBA, even though it's still the world probably. So yeah, I have Giannis. The dude's just an athletic freak. He's the best defensive player in the NBA in my eyes. He's the best offensive player in the NBA in my eyes. So I think in 5 years from now, he'll still be like that. Hopefully, knock on wood, there's no major injury that kind of slows him down. And yeah, with that, if no major injury, I think I would bet money on Zion over anyone else, or Giannis over anyone else that he'll be the #1 player in the NBA. So that is
all right. So honestly, we didn't see a major injury to Giannis, which has been great. He's won a DPOY. He's won 2 MVPs since. He's won an NBA championship since I made this. He's, in my opinion, still the best player in the NBA overall, pound for pound. Maybe regular season, okay, but you incorporate just everything who you want. I'm taking Giannis still. In 2 years, I just need him not to lose that crown, and I still get my prediction right. So honestly, I think this is on pace to being pretty solid. Now, I definitely had some misses. I had Cat too high at 11. I don't think Kristaps is going to be in the top 20. Trey Young at 6 is kind of high, and obviously Ben Simmons at, what was it, 12 is just not going to happen. I think Cade also is maybe the wrong guy to pick from that class. Maybe I should have had Anthony Edwards and LaMelo Ball, some honorable mentions in there as well. Obviously, Donovan Mitchell I left out. He's going to be, I think, a solidified like top 20 guy in 2 years because he is already. I don't think Wemby or anybody from this class, or definitely not next class, is going to be top 20 in 2 years. Like, Wemby definitely has the best shot, but that might be too quick, but we'll see. You never know. The only person from the 2021 class, 2022 class is Paolo. I don't think Paolo will be top 20 in 2 years, but he definitely could be. And I don't know if Jalen Williams or Keegan Murray or any of those other guys we'll see as a top guy. Like, I don't think Chet, especially because he was hurt this year. And AD at 3 was definitely too high. But yeah, I think I did all right. I took the conservative route. I didn't put Kawhi. I didn't put KD. I didn't put Lillard or LeBron, Curry. I didn't put any of those guys in my top 20. No Kyrie as well. He could be somebody that's still a top 20 guy because he won't be too old in 2 years. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this down below. Do you think I'm on pace to having a pretty good prediction right there? I'll leave a link to this video in the description below. I also have this for 2026 and 2027. And like I said, in a few days, I'm going to be making this list for 2028. Kind of crazy that this video came out 3 years ago. Hope you guys did enjoy the video, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.